Hello, ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru, hello.
And guys, we're back for some more of the PDX Steel Division Normandy 44 tournament. We're back on the beaches today. Rang, who do we hear with us?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have Infantrie as Polish Armored Division, and on the right-hand side, we have ZhukoDim as the 716th Infantry Division.
Now, what clan does Amber T belong to here,
He
Rang?
belongs to RKKA.
Okay, that's, for those of you out there, well, it's a little bit of a joke, I guess, on the last cast we just had going on here. A little bit of an oopsie, but let's avoid that for right now. So, it's Omaha, we're back, it's Amber T, ZhukoDim, two names that you said, you know Amber T pretty well, you said, yeah?
Yeah, Infantrie, I remember him from Wargame a lot, and same with ZhukoDim as well. I mean, ZhukoDim's also been playing a lot of Steel Division, a very good player. And, well, we're going to see how it goes, because we've got two rather more unseen divisions. Don't see 716th all that much. Same with the Polish Armored.
And why is that?
I know Polish Armored is pretty fun to play, and both these divisions do have some new units to toy around with. Poles with the new Firefly, and ZhukoDim is a very good 105 light howitzers, but Poles don't really have that veterancy with their units, and some people just, want the high star, 2-star Shermans.
True.
While 716 is, if you get some good artillery pieces, you're very easily countered. Well, not as much anymore, as the 105 guns do like to do some counter battery, but it's a very slow division. You can't really do any major advances. It's like Luftwaffes in a sense, where you do have to be defensive in a raid.
It doesn't look like ZhukoDim is really going to take that to heart, though. He's pushing on forwards as much as he can, and I can't say I blame him. Starting off, we are going to see two Stuarts as well as a Cromwell over there? Yeah.
Yeah, we got Stuart, Cromwell, so a pretty sizable Polish force. I mean, you do want to be using those tanks to try and break through the 716 flying. And
now,
yeah.
What do you think about this early start over here for the 716th? I mean, we're seeing only a little bit of anti-tank, unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a Panzerschreck here, and Panzerschrecks are going to be very useful in the right hands, as most people don't really suspect Panzerschrecks, to be entirely honest. And if ZhukoDim can knock out the tanks, he should be able to move through with infantry with some good old fire support, because the tanks are really going to be the scary thing that ZhukoDim has to deal with.
Gotcha, so you're saying that if he doesn't take care of it, his own prospects at victory might be a little bit dim. But he does take out a Cromwell early on.
First kill is round, damn.
That's a big help right there, I would think. I mean, that Pack 40 is a rather nifty piece, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good opener to get out Pack 40, because it doesn't just act as a very powerful anti-tank weapon, but it can also blow up infantry, and it's a 2-in-1, an absolute bargain.
True, and at the same time, though, he is engaging the other Stuart, and frankly, he's got the accuracy, and he's got the power to take it out, and does so. Wow.
Damn! Oh, that was...
That's a
bad positioning from Amber T.
Indeed. I mean, if you actually look to the south, we have a pop gun down there facing off against that Stuart, but two tanks in the north already going down? What do you think? North's going to belong to Zhuko?
Yeah, I mean, we got some of those Polish rifles, the Strelczyki, which are pretty subpar, to be entirely honest. And ZhukoDim has the fire support here, because all of the fire support from Amber T is now dead. It was tanked to really the mainstay of his forces.
Now, you're noticing, I guess, over here with Amber T, he's not rolling with any kind of real leadership on the field be outside of those command stewards. Is that a mistake?
Yeah, I mean, at least one leader unit in that town would help. He did have that command steward before, but now it's dead. And I always recommend having at least one infantry leader unit when you're doing a big infantry push, even if you do have command tanks nearby, as it's just a little bit more reliable and cheap, very cheap.
Sounds like it. In the meantime, by the way, Pack 40 is going to engage that Cromwell that is realizing he left his stove on. He's going to go take care of that real quick.
And I'm thinking for Amber T, what would be a really good unit for him to get is that he can get an A-phase Sexton. And let me tell you, Con, an A-phase Sexton, it's fantastic for the post, especially against 716, because it's all soft targets that he has to worry about. And the Sexton has a lot of ammo, and it can easily deal with these Pack 40s and all that other stuff very easily. And he needs these anti-static weapons.
Exactly.
Like mortars and stuff, to deal with ZhukoDim's just field guns.
Now, we are going to see a couple more field guns being brought on into the north. There's the IG-18s, I would think, unless my eyes...
Yeah, the IG-18s. And good choice. They are very damn good.
He's starting to form his own artillery parks, though, too. And with the infantry in close support, I can't help but think that ZhukoDim is... he's got this thing well in hand.
Yeah, I mean, your Struppen, even though they are disheartened, at long range, they do beat out Strelchkis. Even in close range, they have a pretty good shot, as the Strelchkis only have one submachine gun. So, it's looking pretty well from 2. He does have the point advantage just by 10 points, but still, that's quite a bit.
Sounds about right. Okay, so you said Sexton's running down Holy Fire to kind of go and take out a lot of the 7/16th positions. What about ZhukoDim? How does he go and just kind of continue to build on his current success?
Just get AT guns, keep knocking out the Cromwells, and then just using fire support, IG-18s and artillery to battle array, and slowly advance and take the next point. Because really the next part that ZhukoDim are going to take is this town at with the Strelchkis up north. He's already starting to attack with some Ostruppen, but really that Staghound will be the real pain in the butt for taking said town.
Sounds about right, but we do have, like I said before, the IG-18s coming on in. Artillery Park is getting formed, and I can't help but feel that 2 of these by themselves would have been enough, and he's bringing up twice that.
And it's a little bit overkill. I'm not going to lie, maybe a mortar piece would have been a good thing to spread it out, but I think ZhukoDim, he just wants to spread, 75mm love all over. Direct fire, you know? He doesn't want to send it express post across the map. He wants to make sure it comes right at your doorstep.
Well, he's a giver, you know? He's a lover and a fighter.
He's a lover and a fighter and a lot of big boomers.
Big boomers, okay. Well,
boomers.
So you're telling me that size does matter in this case?
Size always matters, Kant. Even if people tell you size doesn't matter, it does. They are just insecure.
You told me she lied. Good to know. I'll keep that in mind. But here we are. We are going to have that pocket of Polish infantry starting to get pinched out a little bit. We've seen a lot of guys getting pinned here.
Yeah, I'm really surprised you haven't seen a single Dragoni, which is like the Polish motorized infantry. They would help out a little bit more. But it's all Strelchki. It's all just regular rifle guys, and regular rifle guys aren't that great.
Exactly. I mean, the Sten guns, like you said before, the Stens are pretty darn good in close combat, but you have to get in that 100-meter range.
Yeah, and even then, your Struppen have an MP40, so it's pretty much an even Stevens fight, and I'd always take an MG42 over a Bren gun any day of the week.
And twice on Saturdays, indeed.
Twice on Saturdays, that's when I get the Panther Grenadiers out.
That's They're not allowed to play until then, too busy doing homework, I imagine.
Yep. I do want to note this little Cromwell blob, but he's using it to slowly break back his Ostruppen a bit, but they're not in the best position because we have this forest blocking line of sight between him and the enemy, which the ZhukoDim's making real good work of, using that to, screen his advancing array and denying Amberty from using his tank to the full extent.
One thing he's not able to do, though, he's not able to protect that Pac 40, who's just taking long-range firepower from the HE Cromwell.
Yep.
And Amberty is convinced it's better for him to go Stag Hounds, bringing the second one in on the map right as we speak.
Yeah. They're a pretty good unit. I find the Staghound really weird, because it's essentially a Stuart, but you can get it in the support tab, so it frees up a nice sort of tank slot. And the Poles have that too, where, you have anti-tank guns, or Achilles, or the Firefly, where you can kind of like switch back and forth if you want to save a tank tab for a support tab, or an anti-tank tab for a tank tab. There's a lot of tabs going around. I mean, the Poles have really started opening their own bar.
True. Well, they got to keep tabs on everything, so. So we are going to see a bit of that armor push coming around the center line here, and it looks like at long last the Osttrooper are getting forced back, but for the life of me, I can't recall there being a lot of dead Germans so far. What has he lost? He's lost like a couple of IGs, and that's about it, hasn't he?
Yeah, the Ostruppen are getting pinned down, but they get pinned down easily, that Ostruppen. And this is really just because ZhukoDim doesn't have the fire support right now, because Amberty is making a pretty good little comeback. Even though the map's starting to go a bit even, 51 to 49, and if Amberty can take advantage of all the army that he has, he can make a good breakthrough. That Cromwell with a 105mm gun, fantastic counter against that Pac 40. And if that Pac 40 goes down, Khan, not going to look good for Zook.
That's true. That's a big if, though. It's a very big if.
That's a very big if. Our Pack 40 is now hidden up behind some tree lines. He's taking a bit of R&R. Not going to be wanting to expose himself in the front line for a little bit.
I do have to note in the meantime, we are going to have these Panzerschreck team kind of moving up through the tree line, and whenever I see a Panzerschreck team getting aggressive, I have to watch it happening.
Yeah, I always see it. That's pretty beautiful. A lot of people underestimate getting Panzerschrecks. Even in decks where you have like Panzergrenadiers or Panzerfaust, sometimes it's a really good idea because your opponent just doesn't expect the extra range that the Panzerschreck can have. And I mean, what if you spend bloody 30 points to go 120 point tank? Yeah, that's a pretty good investment, Khan.
Sounds about right. I guess he's not going to be too aggressive about it right now, and that's totally fine. The Osttrooper being pinned down did kind of give him no leg to stand on. To the south, Poles are advancing like crazy, but to the north we have a Flak 88 is on the map.
Oh, wow. Big gun.
So, super early call-in. Maybe, is that too soon or no?
No, you can get quite a lot of them in the 7/16th, and honestly, just having them on the field, it acts as an AA gun, acts as an anti-tank gun. May not be the best choice in the more close-range engagement here, but it can definitely punch a hole through those Cromwells very easily.
Sounds about right. And geez, yep, there we go. Forcing a bailout already, and he's not on Wall Street, but still not pretty.
Yeah.
I do want to make a call out, by the way, as well. A Pac 37 to the north, it's just firing at those little rink-eating 47mm shells. Damage to the transmission on that Cromwell, and that's just super surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, it does have just enough pen, or a bit more pen to get the kill, but not enough to be entirely reliable. But getting that transmission here is definitely going to put that Cromwell out of action for a little bit.
And we are now into Phase B. So, do things go into Amber T now, or how does that work?
Well, Amber T does have the point advantage, and you can start getting some better infantry. I'm hoping we see some Saporachis, as they do have, you know, flamethrowers, close quarters combat against Osttrooper. Pretty good counter, but really, Amber T just needs to get some goddamn artillery. This is painful. I mean, he's getting lots of tanks, and you know what? Tanks are great. Tanks are good. I love getting some tanks. But when you're up against the 7/16th, you don't need to get a lot of tanks. You don't even need, like, really heavy tanks. You can just get Staghounds and Cromwells and Stuarts and have a good time. But what you do need is bloody artillery to knock out this 88, the AT guns, the 7/16s, or the IG-18s, the Pac 40s, etc. And I think he's just not prioritizing his resources by I mean, you got another Sherman up north, but I don't think that's going to help out all too much.
Well, especially since, honestly, that light anti-tank guns, if we're going to probably watch this, the Panzer 35H, it might go down here.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring that tank up against a Sherman, but each your own.
Well, even besides that, though, he's happy just to play for time and space. I mean, he's up 600 tickets. He's still got the point advantage under himself.
Yeah. And he has that town pretty much under his control.
And what's more, that Flak 41's moving up the road as well, a second one being called on in. But we are seeing signs of maybe an imminent collapse in the center part of the field.
Oh yeah, there's nothing really for the Allies at all, but at the same time, ZhukoDim, he has like 2 Osttrooper, so he can't really take advantage of this, well, gap. And that is one of the problems with the 7/16th Infantry Division, is when you spot gaps like this, you can't just get some Panzer II Lukes and just rush through the center. You have to slowly trudge your way along at 18 kilometers an hour.
True.
Which isn't the ideal speed for Blitzkrieg.
True. That is very, very true. Yet somehow, some way, he continues to hold a bunch of territory. Indeed, wow, these Panzerschrecks by themselves controlling, what, 3% almost by them?
No, that's two men holding a pretty decent chunk of the map, and I'm really hoping ZhukoDim can realize this and start bringing some stuff to secure the center.
Is ZhukoDim doing that, or Amber T doing that?
Both really. I mean, Amber T really should start sending some defense to you. You have a little bit of an attack down Sofio Khan. Got a 2-star Cromwell trying to fend off some Osttrooper, but 7/16th, it's close range combat. They got IG-18s and AT guns in good position, and in this matchup, the Poles really have a better advantage at longer range.
True, true. Now, I'm sure you feel very differently about this, but for me, I always didn't really enjoy the 7/16th, and I think we talked about this before. Because
Yeah.
the infantry just does not have that AT capability, and it just bothers me way too much to not have it.
Yeah, I mean, you do have the Italian guys with the AT, but it does suck going through A phase, right? You don't have a single, like, proper infantry unit with an anti-tank gun, or anti-tank launcher, I should say. And I get it, they're a very slow division, it requires a lot of artillery, static gunplay, etc. You can't push, you can't be fast, you have to take your time, you're like an old man with a crutch.
Well, they are fighting in the World War I fashion, so that seems only appropriate, of course.
We're pretty much World War I tanks, I'd argue.
Now, a couple quick things in the meantime, though. You did mention the Italian Freiwillige. But maybe, just maybe, would you think that this game might have gone a little bit differently here had Amber T been a little bit more aggressive early on?
I think he was plenty aggressive, it's just that Pack 40 completely shut him down, and after losing both of his initial tanks, he had to pretty much be defensive, and then ZhukoDim had the time to gather up forces for a pretty decent attack. And I'm also thinking, it's a pretty good map here for ZhukoDim, as it is pretty close quarters, a lot of hedgerow fighting, and a lot of places are put down static anti-tank guns and anti-infantry guns. And that's what ZhukoDim's doing really well. He's got AG-18s and AT guns all over the place. So if Amber T does decide to do a breakthrough through one choke point or the other, he'll just get shot down by AT. I mean, just look down south, we've got 2 anti-tank guns, yeah, pretty much covering that one road.
True, but I feel like for the longest time, I mean, it didn't really have 2 anti-tank guns there. Yes, we had one and we had some Shreks.
And also
but, yes, go ahead.
Also just thinking about it, these Pack 37s, I mean, they're not the greatest in the road, but when you're fighting against Polish in A phase, the heaviest armor tank they got's a Cromwell. So they're pretty good considering.
True. I don't know. I guess for me, I feel like perhaps Amber T was not aggressive enough on the breakout.
Yeah.
And just gave away too much of the fine choke points maybe over here to Zhuko.
Yep, and he completely forgot to get artillery. I have not seen, not even a mortar, this entire match. And if Amber T just got some artillery pieces, start pounding these 88 mils, all the AT guns, he could then pretty much clear the way for him to do a tank breakthrough. But just looking up north, he's pretty much lost all his tanks because the AT guns are stopping him, and he's just going to be buying more tanks. I mean, he's just throwing tanks against 88 mils, and I mean, some German commanders love that, of course, but it's not really good when you're on a Sherman.
A quick shout out to my homie there, Rommel, on that one. We do have Pioneers, by the way.
AA guns down bottom.
What's that?
Why don't we point the AA guns down? Oh, Rommel, that's a good idea. We should give that a shot.
And they did.
Yeah, and it worked pretty well, and it's working really well so far for ZhukoDim, and it pretty much seems like he's going to be taking the victory on this one. And I do want to clarify, pretty much the victor of this match goes on to the next round. So, that will be ZhukoDim.
Good old Zhuko indeed. I do want to see how many tanks got destroyed here, because I've seen there's what, a dozen that have been called on in, and I see a new Cromwell coming in, I see the Sherman up top, but other than that, everything else has been dead.
Yep, everything has just died. All the Staghounds, the Cromwells, everything's just gone. And I think most of it's just due to one Pack 40. He's pretty much
a good deal of it. There's also that Pack 40 to the north and the Flak 41s.
And there's like three Pack 40s up north and then 2 Flak 88s.
Yeah, look at this breakout between the two. So, end score, by the way, folks, of course, 918 to 0.
That's not good.
KD ratio is surprisingly unbalanced.
That's not good at all. And just looking at the, one Pack 40 knocked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks. That makes him a anti-tank ace in my book.
By anybody's book, I would think. But yeah.
And he's killed a lot of tanks. And I think that match can simply be summed up. Just buy some artillery, goddammit.
Yeah.
Just buy some it's just even like a hurricane of rockets, right? No, that wouldn't work, because there's 88 millimeters. But just a sexton, some 80mm mortars, you know, just pound away at the soft, squishy target to the 7/16, and then you attack. You know, don't bring a tank in front of an anti-tank gun, especially when there's 3 of them.
True, true. Even if it's one of those pop guns, too. Even if you get close enough, those pop guns will still hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, you don't shoot a pop gun directly at your foot. I mean,
True.
Not a good idea.
True, and don't stick your tongue against a frozen telephone pole.
Winter lessons for everyone.
Indeed, indeed. So that's going to about do it, at least from my end. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sounds good. All right, folks. Tune in next time for some more of the PDX tournament from Steel Division Normandy 44. This has been Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.